G'day folks, ZD here, backpacking once again on the Reaper today. I've been wanting to do some Hammer Dagger action. I think it's, I've always enjoyed that. And I think it's particularly strong in the current situation, ever since some of the spikes stuff was nerfed a little bit. I'm a big fan of that if we can pull it off. But as always with this game, you never know what the run is going to be until you actually play it out. And very rarely do things go according to plan. So let's go ahead and jump into it and see what we got here. Can't really pass up a potential walrus tusk here. I mean, it's on sale, so there's no real risk there. I can buy it and resell it after a reroll. I'm not going to pass up a garlic with the flying Garrick to speed them both up and to help get some early game victories. I'm trying to round out my early game on both classes. It's kind of my weakness. I have definitely identified that. So that's something I'm trying to improve. Same deal with rock. I can just resell it after the reroll here. And we have a pan with the 2 pieces there. We also have a wooden buckler. So that's another option. A sale price pan is a pretty hard thing to pass up though. We are going to need the more space. We decide whether we want to go for the combo here, which means kind of delaying, like that would take a little bit longer. I like thorns a bit more on Ranger, certainly. I do like it a bit more on Ranger, certainly. I wish that we had a page with all of the items, not just the recipes. I've mentioned that before, I think, but I think it'd be really good because I'd love to be able to like browse items, just like consider things. Of course, there is the wiki, but an in-game one, just like the recipes, would be fantastic. You know, you can have it as you discover them too, and that's fun for new players to discover new items and fill out their item list. A lot of games have that sort of unlock thing, roguelikes and whatnot. Anywho, getting sidetracked. I think I will go with the selling of the Walrus Tusk. Both seem like potentially okay plays. This one's a little delayed though, but if I sell this, that gives me the 2 gold to buy the pan, and I get the bag, and I can afford that. And you know, I end up with a bonus rock or something as well. So obviously we're just going to tinker with the layout here a smidge so that everything is in the coffin for the extra poison procs and that the foods are touching and that the pan is getting benefit from all of the foods. And that is not too bad. That's not too bad. I don't think it wins against everything, but it should win against quite a few different things we can come up against. Ooh, a spear with 2 extra back. How did they afford that? That is a lot of damage. I'm a little concerned, but I think we have it though. Ooh. Oh, the timing. The timing, that was pretty 50-50. It just came down to the fraction of a second timing there. Absolutely. Yeah, the spear obviously got rid of anything from the garlic, so that didn't help us out that much. Poison proc wouldn't have done it, but the next attack would have. And there wasn't much in that. The dagger missed. That would have been 2 to 5. That could have been it if it high rolled. Or that plus the last poison might have done it. Or the pan hit as well. So the pan rolled okay. It rolled a low roll, but it's 5 to 6, so it's not that much. But yeah, then that second pan hit. How 529 785. Oh mate, it was 1/10 of it, less than 1/10 of a second from the next pan attack. Yeah, that was very close. It's fun to see just how close that was. Yeah, that's a little rough. Sale price broom. I definitely do like being open to the opportunities of going magic staff or staff of unhealing. I particularly loved my one and only staff of unhealing run. I would like to do more of them. And magic staff is also a very good option always. Pan works as fine as a transition into that as well, because you can kind of build food with blueberries and things like that. We'll need space. Stamina usage is 1-to-1 at the moment. This does cost quite a good chunk of stamina, so I won't really trigger that well. But it's kind of really just getting it for the recipe anyway. Like, it doesn't contribute too much. I have to take the bag space. And I think we will take the broom. Just having that open as an opportunity is pretty big. There's possibly a way to get that in the coffin, but it's pretty minor. We only have 2 gold left. Do I want a healing herb? If we do end up rolling into stuff on healing, the healing herbs are okay. And they can be used to upgrade potions, which become damage potions in a healing setup. I don't feel super strongly about it. But I might take it anyway. See what our next round is here. Not quite combined. We look pretty good here. The stamina will cost us a little bit here. It might have almost been better to not run the broom, because the broom is using stamina that the pan could use instead, and doing less damage with it. Half as much damage, roughly. And we're not getting any mana currently, so we won it either way, though. That wasn't a super strong opponent to come up against. There's not much else here I'm super interested in, except the garlic is not a bad choice, obviously, to upgrade our pan for a little bit until we can get other things. The orb, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, is rare. Is it? Can I see it in here? Yeah, I wish you could, like, bounce over that. I think the mana orb is rare, so it's a bit hard to roll for it now. I do like deck of cards, but it's pretty space hungry, and so is food, which is kind of our opening right now. So I think we grab the garlic, push this over. I might even not use the broom for a round. Let's re-roll first and see, though. Sale price piggy is a kind of a no-brainer. We're probably just going to want to take the bag space anyway for the future, and we can chuck that in there for now. That's okay. There's no way to get... Yeah, no, that's fine. There's no way to get those to touch, and the garlics wouldn't benefit anyway. So that's the next round for us. So I'm not running the broom, but it does give a little bit more front-loaded damage. We'll see. If we don't end up running our stamina down, then dropping the broom was a mistake. It's pretty strong, though. Double swords is basically... seems to be the strongest ranger opening. So another loss on the board for us, unfortunately. I'm somewhat tempted by the gloves. A banana wouldn't go astray as well. We'll get our banana. That's a little bit more healing for potential future. 25% on rare now. Let me just double check the orb is rare. Yeah, I double checked. The mana orb is actually epic, so I definitely can't really push roll for that right now. It's kind of more of a round 7-ish deal as that rare number starts to tick up a little bit. So the question is there other things we want to roll for, or are we happy to just go for a pair of gloves, for example? I think I'm happy to just go for the pair of gloves. And I fiddled with a couple board configurations. This gets the food here. We should probably do this, though. That's not as good poison procs from the dagger, but I wanted the gloves to benefit from something, so I went for the dagger there. With the banana there, actually, we might be able to run the broom, but we need a bit more space for that. I don't quite have it right now, so we'll drop into the next round. What do we got? Thankfully, they're not whetstones. Okay, this doesn't look too bad. They do have a shield, but and the flask is gonna, the health potion's gonna get them a little further. But our banana basically will do the same thing as that over the course of the match, right? For it only has to proc 3 times to match a health potion. Of course, the additional benefit there is the poison, but that is insufficient to outweigh it. Overall, I think we're just doing a bit more damage there. Yeah, doing a bit more damage there. Getting a bit more armor. And then the poison for the little bit of extra damage to outweigh our opponent. I actually am curious. Does the pan outweigh 2 unbuffed swords? Let's have a look. So that's 58 versus 83. Absolutely, yeah. Even by more than I suspected. And then another 25 from the poison. Whereas they had another damage source. So that was good. Nice. Oh, that's an early mana orb then. 15%. That's pretty good. So we do, of course, have the choice. We can take the Spectral Dagger if we do indeed want to push for Hammer Dagger. Hammer is rare, and round 6 is where rare peaks, so that's the time to push for the hammer. So that would be kind of perfect timing-wise. So we definitely are at a crossroads here. We either go for the combine on the broom, or we go for the combine on the dagger. The combine on the broom's downside right now is that it's a bit space hungry. And that does make it a little harder to get, like, say, a box of riches or something going as well. Which, the gems could be pretty big with the dagger set up, the blue, like a blue gem in the blue weapon, to generate extra mana. But we do have to push for the hammer next round, in addition to getting a bit more space in our backpacks. Of course, we can, at that point, trade off the pan and any food we maybe don't want anymore. So, definite crossroads. I did start out by saying I wanted to explore Hammer Dagger, so maybe going that route is the play. I think I will go that route, but I don't blame some of you if you're like, oh, I really wanted to see a magic stuff or stuff of unhealing. I'll do more in the future. How about that plan? So for now, we'll go get this combine here. It's not really triggering a lot right now, but that's okay because it's not doing too much for this round anyway. So we're going to go that route then. I think we can just go ahead and sell the broom. We'll get the box of riches because I'm going to want blue gems for sure. And I want to re-roll into a sale bag even. Beautiful. Beautiful. Corrupted crystal, is that something we want in this one? They're basically always good. And the armor slots, pretty good. The increased damage on low health is actually going to be pretty strong on blue daggers. It's worth considering. We don't really need this right now, but I also don't need to sell it this round, as I'm not using the space anyway. Yeah, so this very next round we didn't power gain much because we just got the mana orb and gems, which don't really contribute to this round 5. So we didn't really gain much power for this round exactly, but we are pretty set up for the next one. So next round we have to all in on pushing for a hammer. And then 2 rounds, well, we kind of have a couple rounds to pull it off, but the sooner is the better. And we have our piggy to break there as well, which will be good. We should consider buying any extra pigs we see if we're going to go that route. We got a pan. The pan's a bit more buffed than mine, so that's a little concerning. The dagger's going to give us a bit of extra damage, and I do have a little bit of extra regen. They look a little stronger to me, but it's kind of close though. I've got more poison stacks on me. I think that's what wins it. Yeah, they're out healing compared to the extra poison stacks on me. Yeah. Alright, so there's our spectral dagger. We got a red gem, which is going to be good for extra survivability. We'll take that on the pan for now, until we can get ourselves a hammer potentially. So this is the thing about reserving the crystal though, is like I wanted to be put all in on pushing for hammers this round, so it was kind of a mistake in that regard. Because this was taking a slot that could have been a hammer. And if I buy it, that's 7 gold I can't spend towards rolling the hammer. I do like the socket bonus on the spectral dagger. So stick with me here for a second. So they penetrate armor, and you've got enemies with like vampirism items sucking their health away, and their health is kind of floating around low, but this maybe doesn't do enough damage to fully kill them, and the rest of your damage is going to their armor. But then once their health is low, the corrupted crystal's kicking in on something that's ignoring their armor. So there's a bit of extra value there with corrupted crystal and spectral dagger, or a weapon that has an additional blue gem if it's got multiple sockets. That said, I do think it was maybe a mistake reserving it because we probably want to try and get our hammer. Yeah, I don't know. I could delay a round, and that way I can say that I didn't waste my reserving. It's not doing much for us right now. I'll take it. I'll take it. We maybe wanted to re-roll without the box of riches here, rather than picking up the emerald like we did. We can sell our rock now and get that bag, because we're going to need the extra bag space for the... No! The biggest downside of this new feature. So I love this bag replacing feature, but every now and then I do that. Please. No. Yeah, that does happen to me a bit. Hopefully we get into low life so that our daggers can pay off. Our opponent has picked up a few more daggers, so it looks like they're looking to transition into some hammer action. But right now they don't have a lot besides the daggers and just basically relying on coffin procs, which is not all that powerful at this point. So we win this one just off direct damage from the pan. We do have a bit of banana-based healing, but that's not going to be sufficient. I'm still suffering those 2-3 losses in the early game. That's been brutalizing me. Additional mana orbs are a very good idea for us. A, they fuel the spectral dagger for the moment, which is very good. And B, we can make more spectral daggers in the future. Like multiple spectral dagger build could be pretty fun. I also like poison dagger for this. Honestly, I like all the daggers in this setup. I would like at some point to pull off some sort of refined dagger setup though. We still need to push for that hammer, and we want it like this round or next round. If we at least reserve it this round, that would be good. So we're going to ignore all the temptations here and take this out. The blue gem is not a mistake here though. I don't know. It's a little bit of a trade-off because I have the corrupted crystal. Do I want the blue gem? I did say I was avoiding other temptations, and we did get the corrupted crystal. Basically, the blue gem would have gone in here to give another mana source, but we did end up getting this anyway, so we'll put that somewhere better in a sec. Okay, bag space. Once we take this out, we look pretty good for hammer space, so I can probably ignore getting the bags for the moment to push for the hammer. Although, it's a bit hard to pass up sale price space, though. Yeah. Alright, we'll put that in there. We've got some spikes, with a little bit of crit boosting. Not a lot of luck gain, though. There's a lot of armor, though, which does result in a few spikes, and we are attacking. We're, of course, going to be a little bit weak to spikes builds. They are not as dominant as they were, but we are still going to be a bit weak to them. You can see our armor penetration playing a role here. Hopefully that crystal gets us over the line. Oh, the buff kicks in and finishes. That crystal actually contributed to the win there, for sure. I'm actually curious to see. It is not a huge boost because it's 3 to 8. So if we average that as like 5, half that, it's like 7 to 8 damage instead. Although with the extra mana, it's another +7. I wonder if that +7 is scaled by the corrupted crystal. It probably is. Let's have a look at the log and see our last spectral dagger was 14. I don't know if you can tell if something's tagged as a crit in here. 14 does suggest that the 7 was scaled, because that'd be, you know, it could be like a low roll. Well, 7, 14, it's a 10 plus 50%. Yeah, no, that'd be about if it rounds down. Okay, that looks like the extra damage is scaled. That's really nice. Corrupted crystal even better in spectral dagger than I thought. Nice. All right, that's good. That got us over the line. So corrupted crystal paid off there. That was pretty cool. All right, so obviously since we're going to be going daggers and trying to get that hammer, too bad if we don't get the hammer, we should be able to force it. We'll obviously take the Hex Blade. It's another proc, and the extra procs inflict buffs, and then it's crit scaling for both accuracy for the hammer and crit for the daggers. It's obviously what we want. It's good stuff. I need to, I forgot to optimize the mana roll last round. It's not like we needed a lot of mana anyway, so it's not a big deal. All right, I gotta take out the gem box, and I actually should have done that before picking the class item. I've never thought of that before, but if you take the gem box out when you pick the class item, that first roll won't have a gem in it. So that's an interesting point there. Oh, I'm so weak to temptation, folks. I'm so weak to temptation. We need the hammer. This is the round to get the hammer. But a sale price blood amulet upgrade for my gloves of haste. Okay, justification. I have to justify. Justification. Vampirism is one of our biggest solutions to thorns. That and purple gems to remove them. Speaking of. Actually getting some vampirism counteracts the thorns. I have to. I must. Okay, but now we ignore all other temptations from now. Okay, except maybe daggers? I mean, come on. Okay, we might be getting some daggers and selling some things. We can't really, I don't think we can really risk to sell our pan until we secure the hammer. Until it's literally there in the shop, maybe. I do want the extra daggers though. The hammer is certainly a bigger payoff than the dagger. That is for sure. I will go ahead and give in to temptation once more. Oh no. I'm gonna rebuild this board though. Can I get... So we're probably not going to be caring about... If I sell this now, we're losing a bit of damage on the pan for now. I could drop the Flag Garrick to get the bag now. That's probably a decent trade-off. Alright, let me rebuild. Alright, not perfect, but it'll do. We got our food on our pans, some gloves on the thing here. We got these mostly in the... it's either I get more procs from the banana, or I get a bit more poison there. I think I want more procs from the banana than the extra poison proc. And yeah, we got everything else gemmed in there. We've got our gloves combining, and we got our cursed dagger affecting everything, so every debuff we put on our opponent will scale our accuracy and crit. Okay, hopefully that's enough for us to not suffer any more losses while we push for that hammer. Give me the hammer. Grab it, grab it, grab it, grab it. I like this this holy armor by itself in 3 fanny packs. It's pretty strong. It will strip any poisons, which stops our dagger from scaling. There's a lot of armor. Thankfully, once again, our spectral dagger is doing some work there. I've got the blue gem here, so there's also a chance of this dagger getting through as well. Otherwise, they're a bit stronger because they've actually got the hammer online. So it's definitely a concern. I don't have that debuff stripping there. There's the stun and a lot of damage to follow up with. Yeah, I don't think we win that one, unfortunately. They're us, but stronger, basically. Hopefully our late game is strong. Oh, no. That's not what I wanted to make. I wanted the gloves. It's actually not that big a deal, but it's pretty funny. I tried to stop it. Just grab it quick. I forgot the recipe. Well, we got a bloody dagger. On hit gain vampirism, up to 4 per battle, heal 2 per vampiric item. We don't have any other vampiric items for now, but hopefully maybe we get another one later on. Okay. Not exactly ideal. Now, I might well take the stamina sack, but we need that hammer. There's our hammer. Perfect. And we got a sale price blood amulet to reserve for later. Again, I should have taken the box of riches out. I gotta remember that. God, I have such a poor memory. Okay, now we can drop the hammer. Well, that's what we'll be doing in a moment. Time to drop the... Did I just... I sold the ruby. What? I meant to sell the pan. Please, game, come on. Okay, my fault. My fault. Alright. Let's board rebuild then. Okay, I think it's worth selling something for the blood amulet. It's either some healing herbs or a bit of extra poison. The extra poison does scale our cursed dagger. The healing herbs are being sold at a loss though. Now I'll go for the healing herbs, I think, because that poison is scaling for us. Then we can get that blood this turn and actually make the gloves this time. This actually end up alright because we'll get the extra healing from the bloody dagger, and we got kind of rewarded for that accidental misstep by making the blood amulet. I don't even know if that was much of a misstep. It just wasn't my intention, right? The bloody dagger is actually pretty strong. Having 3 converted daggers with the hammer now is a pretty big power spike for us at this point. All right, this seems good enough. We've got a couple things proccing here, not perfect, but that's good enough for now. We've got the banana getting scaled up. So the hammer obviously is 1.5 stamina, which means you will run out of stamina with just it alone. But the banana delays that from happening for quite a while, especially with 7 stamina. Basically, it takes 1.5 per second, so I mean, it takes like 5 seconds for that to become an issue. So that's potentially a few stuns there. Should get at 3 attacks pretty comfortably, I think, without running out of stamina. Maybe even a little bit more, let's see. All right, hoping for those big stun procs. Oof. Give me those big stun procs. We got some spike scaling, Hungry Blade with rocks, and Hero Longsword here getting scaled by the Hero Longsword. It's pretty strong. And Holy Armor for stripping debuffs is pretty strong. I think we should still be able to get this though. We just power spiked very hard. The thorns building up will be to our detriment though. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, no, I think we get way more than 3 hits. It's like 5 or 6 before we run out of stamina. That stun to finish him off. Love it. Love it. Looking pretty good. Let's have a look. So the winner damage-wise is, of course, the Spectral Dagger, unsurprisingly. Bloody Dagger coming in with a bit of damage, and the Cursed Dagger a bit of damage, but this is more for healing, and this is more for debuffs. The hammer itself doing a good chunk of damage, obviously. Even with their pretty powerful debuff stripping from the Holy Armor here, we're in pretty good condition. And I think we aren't very armor heavy, so the stones didn't punish us too much. But that put us at 21 crit 100 accuracy, 96 accuracy on the hammer. It's not too bad. Not too bad. All right. We're hanging in there. Mate, I don't like how many losses we've suffered though. This is like a running theme for me, right? Gin Lamp is decently strong on daggers. That's a lot of extra damage for your daggers proccing with their 3 extra hits. Another consideration is the Cap of Resilience. It serves a little bit of a role by itself, but potentially more importantly, we can put a Corrupted Crystal in it. Since we are stacking a pretty good amount of debuffs with these dagger procs from the poison and the Cursed Dagger itself, and the chills as well from the Sapphire, we are gaining a lot of armor from that. And that is probably stronger than the bonus damage on this right now. Though that did win us a match, the extra survivability is pretty big. I kind of underrate Cap a little bit at full price. Definitely on sale, but I think here I'd like to see its value here. I mean, of course, the other option is to roll and hope for armor, but this is a sure thing, and I might take it. And then that frees us up a slot to put another Sapphire in there, which I wonder if we want to do it this way. Since this already penetrates armor, we put it on this one, and now we have 3 armor penning weapons. Not 100%, but, you know, there's a chance there. They're not quite combining, are they? We can move those and get them to combine. Do I want to? Actually, I don't mind that. Let's get them to combine to a Forward Sapphire, maybe. In some cases, it's good to keep them separate because you can resell them. But I would do a couple Sapphire combines and combine that up for sure. All right, we have like excess space right now, so we're not going to buy a bag. Ooh, the combine is a good call in light of the potential ruby as well. Book is going to be potentially quite good for us as well. We are producing a bit of extra mana, and that invulnerability is pretty big. I could save that to buy next round. We want to think like, now that we have our hammer, right? Because that was what we were trying to like get established. What are we looking for? I don't have like a super clear answer to that. Answers to various problems that get thrown our way. So one is blind, but to be honest, the Cursed Dagger does a good enough job of that. Survivability in general is a big one. The helmet and the corrupted crystal should help us with that. The Book of Light, giving some healing is nice. Cleanses some debuffs to shut down some other Cursed Dagger builds a little bit. But more importantly, that vulnerability proc is actually a pretty big deal. Gives enough time for, you know, us to get another hammer swing in there and get another stun, hopefully. I think I will reserve it, and then we want to think about survivability. We currently have healing. So, and we're not going to be getting no healing at any point. So that's a consideration, and I mentioned that because Poison Flask Bomber builds, where they've got like 8 poison flasks that are dumping 90 poisons on you. Those only trigger if you heal. So you can either go lean into healing and actually get a good amount of it, or you can just actually say like, you've only got a banana. That's the only thing that's healing you. Sometimes it's actually better in the late game to just get rid of it, take it off. Because then you're going from getting a tiny bit of healing that's not helping you that much, to getting no healing, which makes you all of a sudden immune to those poison bombers. However, that's never going to happen for us in this case because we have Vampiric Gloves and Bloody Dagger. So we might as well at that point consider other healing items. We can lean more into healing since it's, you know, going to be a good choice for us. And in the meantime, I will go ahead and get the Red Dagger, but I might consider 5 to 8 damage, 4 to 7. The best one is actually the Spectral Dagger with its extra damage, huh? So we'll do it that way around. Yeah. That's a lot of extra lifesteal on that. Ooh, Crossblade's bow is very strong. I'm definitely concerned. Fair bit of crit at the start. How's their crit looking? Already 50%. I'll get a little bit of luck stripping. We might be able to stun and get through off the stuns, I think, which is a good thing because them ramping is very bad. They're ramping very quickly. We have to just finish them before they get a chance. Whew. Yeah. Man, we gotta hang in there. We gotta hang in there. That's a little scary. Honestly, it's a pretty early Crossblades, I think, isn't it? Well, no, but it's a pretty good board. Yeah, very nice. Lowering their luck just a little bit, and then the stuns to just see us through. Just barely scraping through. There's our extra blue gem, and what did we produce? Another green gem. We will take that. Do I want it to combine? Perhaps not. Let's buy our book. We may also want to consider the life flask as well. We had the extra, but we ended up selling them, didn't we? So we won't be getting the upgraded version there. One thing I didn't pay attention to in the last round was just how much armor I was getting, actually. I want to pay attention to that in this next one. See just how much value we're getting out of that corrupted crystal, because we can weigh it up against the extra damage on a dagger. I do suspect the armor is much more worth it, though. And how much mana do I feel we're producing? And can I make that much better? The daggers are one of the better ones to proc it off. Yeah, short of a rebuild, that's okay for now. Do I want to push for the health potion? I think I won't. I think I'll grab the amethyst for an upgrade, and then we'll call it a day on that round. What do we got? Food, magic staff, a little good amount of mana scaling there. And they've still got their pan going. 1.1, 0.6. They got enough bananas to support that. I think our stuns and immunities should see us through. I'm curious about how much our mana and armor looks here. I'm kind of slowing it down and having a look. The damage is looking very good. Nice and bursty off those dagger procs. No stun there though for us. Obviously we're a little bit at the mercy of the stuns always. There's another stun. Although the stun and the immunity overlapped, which is a bit of a waste. Can't help that though. What can you do? That's looking very good there, and the poison actually building up to a pretty decent level by the end there. Not like our primary damage at all, but obviously, but actually pretty healthy. Dang scroll bar. Spectral Dagger, healthy 128 once again. Poison actually dealt second most damage. Wow. I'm surprised. I mean, it is a lot of extra procs off the coffin there. Okay, there's our various combines. Put those ones back in there. We got another blue gem. Perfect. That's what I wanted for the Cursed Dagger. I was hoping for that. Now, we may want to consider the fanny pack to speed up the hammer a smidge, as that is quite good for us. We are not really taking full advantage of that right now. Let's take our gem box out. I think I don't think I'll be buying any big gems. I could leave it in and roll for a big gem. You know, a big blue gem, for example, would be pretty good. But let's leave that for now. There's another mana orb. If I had another dagger, I would certainly buy that to go for the combine. The extra mana build-up gets our Book of Light to trigger a little earlier. And you know, later can provide damage and things like that too. I'm not really interested in Demonic Flasks or Poison Flasks necessarily. Certainly you could do a couple Poison Flasks and use that to scale your Cursed Dagger. But I think we want to stay a little more focused maybe. So in terms of getting another mana orb, if we were to get another dagger, it would be a pretty good payoff. We could go for the combine there. But we're at even spread now, so daggers are rare, so 20% on that. Still not necessarily a bad thing. We're just not getting a ton of benefit from it right now. I think I'll take it and reroll. And we'll see if we get rewarded for that. It could make a second Book of Light more valuable, as you can proc them back to back, and having 2 mana orbs makes that actually a bit more realistic in a shorter match, not necessarily needing a very long match. We're still pretty low. We still have a good chunk of gold here we're not really using yet. Heroic Potion. I'm not sure how much we're getting our stamina down. The Empower is pretty powerful on daggers, because you've got like a lot of smaller hits going on. That's not too shabby. I don't know if I would want to necessarily combine it with the banana. It basically just makes you more space efficient and gives it a bigger stamina burst, but the stamina the banana provides over the course of the match is probably equivalent, at least most of the time, if not a little better. I'm not like super big on that combo. Yeah, I'm just not super sold. I'm just not super sold on that. I will actually go for the reroll here. Oh, another blood amulet. That's 3 sale blood amulets in this run. That's crazy. kind of wild. We could go Shield of Valor with 2 books. Oh wait, no, it's the chest armor that benefits from the books. Never mind. Chest armor I would definitely get. Poison Cleanse and 2 books potentially comboed would be pretty good. I think we probably just get the fanny pack and I'll rearrange my board a little bit to take advantage of it on the hammer maybe. If we get another dagger, we already have a mana orb to combine with it. But if we got another pair of gloves, then we would love the blood amulet for a second pair of vampiric gloves. Oh, you know what I realized? This isn't giving the vampiric glove bonus. They should be together. I'll make sure I do that in the next round. I did that when I swapped them around for gem combines or something. Alright, I basically just shifted everything up a little bit. The mana orbs aren't triggering off a bunch of stuff, but they're both getting a hammer and a dagger here, which is probably fine enough for now, especially with the 2 of them. That's a very fruity board right there. A magic staff, scaled with a ton of Yggdrasil for starting mana. They really maxed out that Yggdrasil starting mana. So that keeps their mana staff full for the majority of the match, it looks like. And they got the blueberries to keep it going beyond that. Yeah, there's our immunity kicking in. Could go for a nice stun right about now. Let's just get back up to full health. We did run out of stamina there, so we did miss a swing. I wonder at what point the stamina potion kicks in. Looking pretty good here. Crit resisted. Oh yeah, okay. That's the cap of resilience, eh? The 10% chance to prevent a crit. Yeah, looking pretty good there. Nice. Blind doing a little bit. Otherwise, probably a little bit of buff stripping, just contributing a small amount as well, but mostly just, I think, good stuns plus our immunity. And then out DPSing them in the end as well, beyond that. Like their magic staff did 220, 174. Like, took a lot of damage from spikes. Yeah, that's right. Spikes is definitely a concern for us. But if we can handle a spike shield and 2 pineapples, we're actually pretty comfortable against spikes, and that's thanks to the vampirism stacks we had there. Of course, they had 3 garlic stripping our vampirism stacks, so we did lose them over time. But they obviously were enough to keep us topped up there. You can see we're at 4 there. What did we peak at? 1, 2, 8, 9. Wow, yeah. And then they started getting eaten away by the garlics pretty quickly after that. So popped back up to 7, and then our dagger capped out, so it couldn't produce any more beyond that. And then the garlics ate us away. But at that point, we had gotten over the line. Okay. Two books. You know, I will take it. I will take it. I'm happy to chain invincibilities. I think that works here. Something to consider is obviously they do consume the mana, but because this only costs 1, it's not too bad, I think. We may want to try and make these a bit more efficient, maybe. This is a little better. I'll do a reroll. I hate to deal with the reservation there, but I'll go for it here anyway. I think since I've got the ruby in here already, and I'm pretty happy with that, survivability is a big deal for us. I don't think we'll go for the extra corrupted crystal. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot about Piggy. We could have cracked that earlier. I mean, it's fine. It technically produces more money over time, just less immediately so. But I will start cracking pigs now, and I'll pick up the extra pig to crack afterwards as well. It's not actually a problem. I don't think it affected things too much. It's just like instead of a spike of wealth, I had this pig produce a higher total amount over time. I mean, of course, if I die in this match, then it will be a mistake because that extra gold might have saved me. Hopefully I don't die. Hopefully. I like this one's got potential. Let's see if our 2 different immunity procs and our hammer stuns see us through. They had a lot of starting armor. They got a bit of cleanse here. Oh, they got some claws of attack thorn whip combo going on here. I like similar to our last run actually, but they don't have very much empower scaling in terms of like blueberries, carrots, things like that. So, and without a lot of thorns gain either, they aren't able to crit with the thorn whip. So it's the wrong class for one. And they got the A pineapple, so that gives some scaling. We've only got 2 empower here though. Yeah, it's definitely not scaling. Not as hard as it did in our last run at least. Our claws of attack went absolutely mental in that last run. You gotta check it out if you haven't seen it. It is a quite a wild combination when done right. But we look pretty confident there. I got distracted and didn't see how our immunity procs went, but I'm pretty sure they both went off comfortably. Let's get our extra coins now then, and smash our next piggy. We want to get all that money now and try and power spike a bit. Oh, another dagger, nice. With all the books we're getting though, it is a little concerning, the idea of losing a mana orb in terms of mana production. That is a little bit concerning because we want to produce a lot of mana now. I think we should go for it anyway. And potentially more, I mean, the blue gems are going to be doing a decent job of producing to fuel them. Yeah, I think we go for it anyway, because the multiple blue daggers is going to be very powerful for us. The question is then if the 3rd book is a good idea though, like, as 2 books are going to be a little tricky to proc anyway. A long enough match, it'll certainly pay off. Look, I think if it doesn't proc, it's still okay. Like, that's still fine. It's still going to be contributing healing. But and then the longer matches where it really drags on, we have a decent chance of getting it to proc and getting the 3rd invulnerability. Ideally, though, we pick up another mana orb or a blueberry or something. That would be ideal. Take the rock and reroll. Sale price garlic is kind of same deal. Don't think. Oh, Jinx is interesting. We already struggle with stamina on the hammer though, let alone scaling it with the Jinx. It does remove luck from opponents, which is nice. I'm gonna take my garlic and go for another reroll instead though. Oh, I should have taken the gems out again. Alright, we'll leave it here for the round. I'll be curious to see if the 3 books proc. Let's, oh, this looks pretty meaty. There's a lot of shield and a fair amount of thorns gained from all of the armor. I could probably be scaling up the armor gain from the initial burst from the Holy Armor a little bit more with the other Shield of Valor, because that's missing it there. But if they just shifted things around a little bit, that'd be a little bit better. They don't have a lot of damage though. They're kind of just relying on Thorns and Poison. Of course, Thorns will be pretty strong to us, but otherwise it's kind of a stally build, which I feel okay about. Our invulnerability gives us a chance to do a lot of damage without dying to Thorns. All right, let's play it out. So that's 76 armor and 6 Thorns. That's really not that bad. Of course, every hit triggers more armor, which gives them more Thorns. So this ramps pretty quickly. A Blue Dagger is the thing that maybe saves us. Oh, the stamina from the Shield of Valor is crushing us though. That's actually the thing that maybe loses us this match, if anything, is that stamina issue. No, we're just going to be out of stamina so much. There's our immunity, and look at their armor just going out of control. We're not going to get through their armor, so we're really hoping on that Spectral Dagger and the blue gems to do their work. They don't have a ton of healing, so just the healing potion, really. They're all armor based, so our blue daggers hopefully serve as enough of a counter here for us to see this through. There's another immunity trigger. I think that's 2 of 3. Which we might get the third one in fatigue here. And I think the blue daggers do it. If not for them, we would be completely and utterly hard countered here, right? Because like they outproduce armor. They out DPS us on armor, basically. They out armor produce my DPS. Apart from the fact that we get to ignore it for the most part. There's our third immunity. So we did get all 3 immunity procs. Things are starting to get a little iffy for us, but I think we're going to be able to close it out here. Look at that armor, so ridiculous. We've actually managed to strip them down to 2 spikes. That is crazy to me. That is just crazy to me. With the amount of army they're gaining, they should... Oh, it's only up to 2 times per battle. I forgot about that. The limit. Oh, I thought that just kept going. Wow, that really does... I wonder if that was the part of the change. I can't quite remember what the nerfs were. But that really does put a cap on things, doesn't it? Because that would just be uncontrollable spikes growth here. That's great. Wow. I mean, if Hammer Dagger can deal with spikes, then we're in pretty good state. I got a little iffy at the end there, though. Things got a little bit iffy right at the very end. But Hammer Dagger has its way to deal with spikes. It's good. We're into survival. You know, I was starting to worry then that we wouldn't make it, and then I was like, do I post the run where we don't even make it to round 8? I had to start considering that. To be honest, if it's an interesting enough run, I will. I've definitely posted some subpar runs because they were interesting. Okay. Let's go ahead and sell this. Sale price cards are a little bit too late here. Ooh, another blue dagger. Mate. We don't need the blue on... Sorry, blue gem, not dagger, obviously. We pop that on there. We maybe go for the combine here. We've got that, and we've got this spare one. We've got a lot of cash now. So, if anything, we want more mana production. Blood Amulet is not doing much for us here. Extra banana also doesn't go awry. That would be actually pretty impactful, I think. I should remember to remove the jewelry box. Box of riches. Yeah. The extra stamina gain from the banana is going to be quite helpful. I should move things around a bit though. I don't think we want a death sight. It would scale up the poison gain, which would be nice in theory, if it didn't also attack. It costs a lot of stamina. So the Holy Armor is not bad here when we've got 3 books. I think we're going to try and fit that in. We have enough to sell this gem. Of course, on being attacked, it produces poison in this armor, which is kind of nice if we're going to come up against any like rapid attacking builds, like bow builds and dagger builds and stuff, for scaling our Cursed Dagger. We could maybe get enough with just the fanny pack. It's a little bit less space, but more triggers as well. I'll take that. We'll see if we can make that work. Board rebuild time. It's so satisfying. So, okay, we have a bit of a board going here, but I have a bit of a decision to make. So I've opted for just the 2 Books of Light on the Holy Armor in favor of getting the Mana Orb here instead of, say, the Book of Light. So that's another 2 regen, but the Mana Orb is more important. That gets triggers off the Holy Armor, the Dagger, and the Hammer there. It's probably the best spot I can have it right now. The main thing is the space situation is a little bit awkward. It's possible to maybe shuffle things around a little bit. But kind of like having all the daggers on the Cursed Dagger here. That is quite nice to do. It's weird now the gems are in different spots on the daggers, huh? I just realized that's not lined up. I'm thinking we could sell this and the garlic for 4 to get the extra bag space. We're in survival now. We only have 2 tries left, so. And the gem situation is actually pretty good. Better, more gems would be nice, but it's not make or break. And I certainly could get, like, say, another corrupted crystal to fill out the armor, for example. So I might buy this, sell this even, and then get the extra space just to be able to put our helmet back in comfortably and continue to grow our board a little bit. So we'll go for that. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Losing a garlic's not a big deal. And we have Steel Goobit Bows. Falcon Blade is very strong. That is pretty dang strong. They've got decent, very good procs on their Piercing Arrow there. They got 3 Books of Light. They have slower mana production than us. So if we kill them before they get to chain their Book of Light immunities, they get 1 there, so they're immune there, and they ignore that hammer, unfortunately for us. We're looking pretty good so far, but their mana build-up is quite slow. Of course, they're ramping. The longer they're immune, the longer they can stay immune and ramp with Steel Goobit, the more and more dangerous they get as they scale these up. So far, it hasn't scaled much, though. So we're not looking too bad. There's another immunity proc, though. We did get the stun, but they're immune, so bad timing on that. Hopefully we get the next one right after the immunity drops off before their 3rd one comes up. Here comes our, I believe that's our last trigger. We're looking pretty good here. Health staying nice and full. We have very good healing, quite obviously. The blind is helping slow their roll a little bit. There's a stun and a bunch of crits. Ooh, very nice. We ate a bunch of crits ourselves. The bows are starting to get pretty dangerous. 90% crit chance here, 90% there, 90% there. Immunity kicks in. Both on immune. That would be both our last immunes then, I imagine. Yeah, we're looking pretty good there. The crit resisted. Man, look at those crits rain down. Oh, man. This is, like, very dangerous. Yeah, nice. Okay. A little scary, but we hung in there, though. So I think on that note then, we want to try and roll for another corrupted crystal if possible. Epics are even with everything else, so decent chance of that happening. I could get the extra space here, but we have a bit of space to get most things that might come up. And the things we're looking for are kind of small anyhow. Ooh, fanfare. That actually would benefit from the space. Yeah, let's go. I mean, I don't often get to use the fanfare, and this is the one where it makes sense. So it removes stamina from our opponent every 1 second, but it gets slower each time. And then after 5 activations, so it's a bit longer than 5 seconds because it slows down each time, you stun them for 1 second, but it has to have 5 start items in front. That's actually not too hard to pull off, thankfully. But we do need to shuffle things a bit potentially, like put a little bag space in there, for example. We do it because it's an extra, stuns are obviously very good, and it's also extra dagger procs, right? So we'll get that, and then we'll re-roll, hoping for some more bag space here. The fanny pack is quite good for it, because it can give us the sped up activations on this. Wonder how worth it is to pick up an extra dagger. The extra dagger we can't get into the Cursed Dagger, it's already maxed out, so it's not going to gain crit or accuracy. And we don't have anything to combine it with currently. And the other thing to consider is that it's only doing 2 to 5 damage. And any enemies that have spikes or armor procs on being attacked or various things like that, it's actually just kind of helping them out more. So I'm not sure with 3 rounds remaining, that means we'd buy it now, potentially, and combine it. Even if we at best combined it next round, we'd only get 1 round of benefit. So I'm actually thinking it's probably not worth taking the extra dagger here. Instead, I'll just take the health potion for now, I think. Cleanse a couple poisons. It's not going to do too much with only just one potion, but we might pick up another one soon. Our opponent has gone very hard on the daggers. Look at all those poison daggers. Oh, that might save us. There's a lot of poison coming there. There's a lot of poison coming our way here. They got a couple of those heroic potions, so they obviously rate the heroic potions for the hammer. Actually, this is a good chance for us to see just how good it is. It's like it only triggers when you go to 0, right? Out of stamina. So that means like when you get the trigger on the hammer that says out of stamina. So that should be on the next one. We both have fanfares, actually. So that'll trigger and give them 8 stamina, which is overfilling them. I mean, I'm just curious how much difference that's going to actually make. Of course, the 2 of these is good. Oh, it actually only triggers the 1. Interesting. And we are rocking them, though. I love it. They're stacking poisons, but we have decent amount of poison cleanse to kind of just take the edge off that a little bit. But, I don't know. I think, like, the birds on the daggers is not very worthwhile. They're, like, trying to get more procs on those to, but, like, to get more poisons, obviously. They're going for a bit more of a poisony kind of oriented setup here. And just trying to get as many daggers as possible. But, I feel like the birds are maybe a bit of a waste. They're just so slow, right? Like, even with the birds here, they only got down to 3 seconds cooldown. It's really not, like, helping that much. So I think that's maybe a little bit of a waste. I think maybe this is just a little bit unfocused. Which I'm one to talk. They're pretty good, though. And I don't know if about the heroic potion. It didn't really seem to come into play, did it? Is it worth taking a piggy for a round? A little bit of extra gold next round. So it gives you, it's basically 3 extra gold in the following rounds. I'm not so sure about that one. What I do really want is a corrupted crystal. And, a little bit more bag space and a second potion would be okay. I think we re-roll. Could take the box of riches and intend to fill out the gems, but I think I'll push for the crystal. See if we can get that. I am going to need a little bit more bag space, and extra max stamina actually does have a pretty positive impact. I know I was ragging the birds in the last round for my opponent, but here for me, actually, I kind of like it. So I'm not going to put it on the daggers, but put it on the fanfare and the healing and the poison cleanse. It also is not scaling the hammer, but rather scaling the stamina for the hammer. So I actually kind of rate the bird here. And bird is sped up a little bit in the fanny pack there as well. So this is like just a stamina situation improvement and a stun improvement without costing additional stamina. I think I'm pretty down with that plan of action. What are we dealing with? We got a lot of blue gems. What are they doing with the blue gems? Just trying to ignore armor. They've obviously ran into a few too many shield builds. Which we do have a decent amount of armor, so that will be getting ignored a pretty good amount there. Otherwise, what else have we got going on here? They are able to, they do have a lot of regen, and they are able to convert that to vampirism, so that's going to scale. This is going to scale pretty well. They're really not doing anything with the mana, though, which is kind of a shame to see, because they have so much of it. I mean, they'll start producing luck, so that's kind of their luck scaling, which is then going to turn into empowers. And we're not going to get through their, look at all those vampirism stacks. We're not going to get through their buff total anytime soon without purple gems. I think we get this off the back of, you know, stuns, immunity. Obviously very good. A little bit of overlap there. The ramp on the Hungry Blade is getting a little bit mental. It's slightly concerning. Let's see here. Let's speed things up a little bit and watch it play out then. They have a decent amount of armor, but again, we're mostly ignoring that. They have some thorns, but it's not too bad. We're into fatigue now. We're a little bit ahead, so it's a good situation. Look how much mana they have. That's like the most mana I've seen. Crazy. We're getting stuns. We're chaining that into immunities. We've got a lot of cold stacks here. Wow, those cold stacks. The cold stacks on the mana are crazy. We are 60% slower, 70% slower right now. That's a pretty big slowdown. Look at the daggers, 4.4 seconds, 3.7. That's with the birds on that. Nice. Oh, we got it though. Alright, there's another thing I want here. The crystals are... Let me just check the rarity for a second. Where are you? They're epic. But it's 2020 anyway, so like... I don't know if the customer card really pays off. I could just buy it for a few rerolls and then drop it. It's like, if it hits rare, it turns into an epic, but if it hits epic, it turns into a legendary. It's like equal opportunity of that happening. So, I don't think it really like helps us get the corrupted crystal specifically, but it does help on average our things be a little better. So, I think I'll take it and just resell it after a couple rerolls. There's another book. We're certainly producing enough mana that we could chain an additional one there. So I could go book. It's pretty expensive. No, I don't really have the space for it. I can't really afford to sell the banana. We desperately need that stamina. Without getting this stamina sack, which is actually a pretty good idea. There's a banana and a stamina there, actually, I just realized. I could just get the banana and stamina sack. I don't even hate that at all. I can pop it down here. A pair of gloves we can potentially... Funnily enough, I put the customer card in, only to buy a common. That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. It probably like rolled the death scythe, which I'm not using. I'm tempted to like reserve the book to get another invulnerability because, I mean, can you ever have too many? It's just like 12 gold per invulnerability is quite the expense. I think oh wait, this is the last round. I forgot about that. I thought I still had one more to go. In that case, it's literally only what is going to help us right now. So it was the stamina and the stamina sack, which should make our hammer pretty comfortable, versus the Book of Light for the extra immunity. I don't know. Tough to weigh those up. Evaluating value is, I mean, such an important part of these games and quite difficult to do, right? So it's like, get the gloves or probably nothing. Or I reroll and get some like pocket sand or something. Just looking if I can fit this somewhere. Obviously we sell the customer card then, get our money back. Yeah, I'm just gonna, I mean, like, I was thinking like I could put the gloves here and fiddle things around, but I think I'm just gonna re-roll and see what I can pick up here. So I can just get like a tiny bit of armor, or just re-roll looking for some pocket sand or rocks or something. There we go, pocket sand. And a rock, perfect. All right, I'll leave it there. One more re-roll. What do we got? We got light goobit, vampirism, a bit of armor. Nothing super cohesive looking. They start with a lot of vampirism because of the dagger and the bloody amulets. So that's kind of their route, is just to have a decently strong hungry blade right off the bat, it looks like. I don't really see too much else going on here. They are able to gain a little bit of vampirism, so it looks decently strong, but it's nothing that's going to scale, you know, much beyond where it is. It's only going to get weaker. So I feel pretty confident based on that fact. They're only going to get weaker over time. While we, do we get stronger? I mean, we do because our opponent gets weaker, right? Like, chilling them and blinding them and stuff. They're already down to 65 accuracy. They have 1 sapphire. Yeah, we look pretty good. I think we are pretty golden in this. Obviously, this will end up being a not a super high win run because we suffered quite a few defeats in the early to mid game there as we tried to get things online, and I paid the price for my greed and easily distracted nature, my low resistance to temptation, my poor willpower. Costs us continues to cost us win. I'm slowly getting better at that, I think, but we end up getting there in the end, don't we? I still love the Hammer Daggers. And I think it proved very strong here once again. You can round out the early and mid game a bit more. It's looking pretty nice. It's just about like when do we push for that hammer? Do we completely ignore any distractions, even if they will pay off in the long term? And I mean, when you think you're gonna win, it's a question of like, can I get to the point where I'm going to be winning, and how many losses does it cost to get there? Versus how strong do I want my late game to be. So I did things, made decisions that gave us a stronger late game, but ultimately did cost us a few wins along the road. And that has often been my approach, so it's something I need to mediate maybe, but it looked good though. I was particularly impressed with the fact that the Hammer Dagger looked very comfortable against a very strong armor stacking spikes setup. So that was very nice. Good to see. So good. Hammer Dagger. It's right up there. It's right up there. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Ziggy D. Thanks for watching.